As a military spouse, one of my biggest fears has always been the death notification team coming to the front door in their dress uniforms. I just never thought I would open that door to be informed of my brother's death. The funeral and memorials were honoring but extremely overwhelming. Hearing the 21-gun salute and being handed his folded flag was extremely difficult. The number of military people who came out to John's funeral was impressive. A large number of John's command, his co-workers, along with several of our friends and co-workers from our base, attended. People flew in from the hundreds to attend, show their respects, and share their loss. This crime has severely impacted my relationships with many people in my life. A few of my friends have been amazing, and I would not have been able to cope without them. But many of them didn't know what to say about the crime or the loss, and so many were afraid to say something that upset me that they stopped talking to me altogether. I've lost several friendships because of this. Some other people in the community and co-workers treated me like I was damaged or broken or avoided me altogether. This made me feel like there was something wrong with me or that I was isolated. Because of this, I have found it hard to make new friends or talk about the crime or my brother with people I'm not very comfortable with because I'm afraid to scare them away. For months after the shooting, I had trouble sleeping, going to work, being around people, eating, enjoying anything. I was depressed, angry. I had trouble concentrating, and I cried constantly. I have worked very hard to come back from this and resume my life, but it is something I struggle with every day. How has this trial affected me and my family? Because of the length of the trial and the distance from our home in Louisiana, attending the trial was logistically difficult. I had to take an unpaid sabbatical from work. I had to leave my home, and my friends, and my family to attend the trial. My kids had to miss a little school. They had to leave their friends, and they had to give up their participation in their summer sports and activities. They spent long days in childcare and nights and weekends in a hotel room. I did my very best to make them comfortable, but I know this has taken their toll on them. And because my husband could not get all the time off of work, he was able to attend only small portions of the trial. This meant he spent weeks away from the kids and I. And because of the gag order before the trial, I was learning most of this information being presented in court for the first time. It was extremely important for me to learn as much about this case as possible. Nonetheless, taking in and processing so much information and emotions in a relatively short period of time was very taxing. So many parts of the trial were indescribably awful. A few being in the same room as the defendant, crime scene pictures and videos, autopsy pictures, hearing the victim describe the shooting, hearing family members of the deceased give impact statements, 911 calls, hearing first responders describe the scene, hearing the defendant describe his planning and execution of the shooting to Dr. Reed with little trace of remorse or emotion.